that lets you save. Okay.
You have to put yourself first in one way or another. You need to understand that you do have time and that creating that space in your life for personal growth will only improve other people in your life. You take that time for yourself, you'll improve everyone else's.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Taddia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Taddia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Taddia.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another show. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of putting yourself first. So I'm going to make some tea right now. I'm a huge tea fan. The weather's getting a bit cooler. And this is actually Ashitaba tea. I'm a huge tea fan. Did I say that? If you guys didn't know, I love tea and all kinds of different teas. And this is Ashitaba tea. This is actually has proven to help. So we have different cells in our body, and all of our cells have different functions. Sometimes those cells die off and don't do anything. They're useless, but they don't offer any benefit, but they actually draw out different forms of energy. So our cells they're not performing at their optimal level, I suppose. So, and then I have pu'er tea. Pu'er tea is a mixed. This is organic. I usually like loose tea. I couldn't find the ashitaba in loose tea, but I usually have pu'er tea in loose leaves. But at any rate, pu'er tea has tons of health benefits. This is great for digestion. Pu'er tea, in most cases there's like black tea, and to oversimplify, black tea and green tea. And we were in Sri Lanka, and we went to some tea plantations, and it was so cool to be a part of and actually check out. So pu'er tea is like a cross between a black tea and a green tea, and it's fermented, so it's great for digestion. So that's what I have just about every morning. Okay, so the importance of putting yourself first. I'm going to talk about that first before I wrap up. So when it comes to putting yourself first, I feel like, so we work mainly with busy moms, and in particular, we work with women almost exclusively. And then from there, we have a couple male clients, which is okay. And they understand that we mostly work with women. As a male, I know what it's like to work with male clients because I've seen different results in myself. And then for years, some of you may have known as a professional athlete before, like working my way up there through high school, college, university, and then at professional level, I made myself workout programs and meal plans. And then my teammates were like, hey, what are you doing? So I started to make them workout plans, meal plans and workout plans. So I've been doing this we've been doing this for 12 years, but I've been doing this for 10 years before that. So I'm 12 years professionally, like as a business, but 10 years before that on myself with other athletes. And so you would think that I'd be working exclusively with athletes, but that's not how life turned out. When I started running fitness classes, mostly women would come. And then I started doing personal training. It was all women that would hire me. Very few men. So I did different sports camps over the years. Like we were the head strength and conditioning for the old college. And I used to do hockey camps and basketball camps, like dry land sports and conditioning. At any rate, now we work with women across the board. So when we look at women in particular and busy moms, they always put themselves last. Everyone else is first. So some of you may be able to resonate with this. Some of you may be, especially if you're a busy mom in particular. I have a lot of phone calls. And on these phone calls, I ask the ladies I'm talking to, I say, what does your day look like of nutrition? And almost across the board, it's like, I have a light breakfast if I have anything at all, because they're rushing around trying to get the kids' lunch ready, trying to get their spouse ready, which is often like another child. And then they're rushing around dropping the kids off at school, trying to get themselves to work. So they don't really have of breakfast. Most times, like, it's very rare that I hear someone that actually sits down as a family and everyone has breakfast together. I don't know if I've ever heard that. To be honest, I'm sure it happens. I'm just trying to think of the calls that I've had recently. I don't remember anyone saying that. So, which is fine. We live in a different world than we used to, probably for a different subject. So the women are often rushing around, trying to get their kids ready, trying to get everyone ready for work. They put themselves last. So breakfast is pushed to the side. They don't really have breakfast. They may have a light snack. Unfortunately, that's usually like a coffee or a pastry, 10 o'clock ish. Then we get to lunch, and lunch can often, because work's so busy, get pushed back to 1 or 2. They are absolutely starving, right? So if you're not eating all day, or at least till 12:1, you are you're starving, you're famished, you're hangry. It's bad news bears, right? So then you have a meal that's probably too big. You have a meal that's too big. It doesn't necessarily the cleanest meal because you're starving. You grab whatever's convenient. And then you deal with the afternoon crash because you put a bunch of this food, often low quality, in your gut and your digestion. And it's like, what do you expect me to do with all this food? Especially, I can't even recognize it as food. So afternoon crash comes. And then we have a long stretch. So maybe we're eating between 6, 7, 8 o'clock because you're running the kids around after school to their activities. And then you're starving when it comes dinner time. So here we go with another giant plate where another giant plate of food, and then we're sedentary in the evening. So we're not running around anymore. We got the kids back from dance, ballet, soccer, whatever it is, and everyone's at home. And now you're Netflixing, you're scrolling, Netflixing, that's a new word. You're Netflixing, you're scrolling, you're hanging out on social media, laying around on the couch, not really doing much. So that's what I mean by sedentary. You're not moving around, you're just sitting there. So you are less mobile, which gives you less of an opportunity to burn that body fat. And then we have digestion issues because when you actually get up and walk around after a meal, you can actually help improve, use gravity, use mobility to help with digestion. Most times we sit on the couch for the rest of the evening and watch TV or our phone, whatever that looks like. So that's a rough idea. And then of course you can look at we're looking at snacking or craving in the evening because you have lack of collagen. If you guys are listening as a podcast, I'm doing this live actually on one of our groups, one of our Facebook groups. I'm doing this live and you'll hear people jumping in and out, watching the show live. So you can definitely do that. If you want a link, let us know and we'll hook you up. Let me know if that's resonating with anyone because that's what I usually hear from someone when I jump on the phone call with. So here's the thing is that on top of that, you're usually bored in the evening because you're not running around to appointment like we usually do during the day or even after work. And then from there, you lack calories. You lack, how can I say, dense calories. So in most cases, we have empty calories. And we don't include the 4 macros. So some people teach keto, some people teach fasting. I don't really care what people do or what they teach. We don't teach that. Like some people, you shouldn't eat till 10 o'clock. You shouldn't eat till noon. That's great. You're fasting, right? That's not what we do. That's not our MAP program. That's not how we've seen incredible results. Like our results are staggering. And it's because of the 4 macros and because of how we count calories for our customers and clients. So it's completely different. And I'm not saying you can't get results in another way. It's just not the results that we've seen. And it's not the belief or mindset that we have. You can have like 1 or 2 of the macros and you'll be fine. That's not what we see. We see that being the main problem is that in most cases, people don't get a balance of the 4 macros. So they're craving in the evening. So do I need to go over the 4 macros? Let me know if you guys want to know what those are. But I think most of us may know. So that's why you're craving in the evening because you don't have balanced meals throughout the day. So here's the thing is that when you put yourself last, you have less to give. And it's important to understand that because I feel like we're better off being selfish in some parts of our life. Like for me, for example, I know when I work out, when I meditate, when I stretch, like I have my own morning routine. And if I do my morning routine and get all the things in that I like to do, want to do, possibly need to do, I'm a better human. I'm a better person. I'm a better father. I'm a better spouse, I'm a better husband, I'm a better employer, I'm more productive at work, I get more done, I can help more people because that's what our job is. We help people improve their lives through nutrition, fitness, exercise, and lifestyle. Karina says fat, protein, carbs, and the fourth is the forgotten about macro. Good for you. So we say this all the time, is that most people forget about the antioxidant slash vegetable. It's a vegetable, but we put in the antioxidant category. So most people count the three, like you could be counting calories, for example, or you could be counting your macros, and most people only go to three and forget about the vegetable. But in our opinion, that's super important. That those vegetables are antioxidants, fight free radicals, and free radicals are everywhere. That's alcohol, tobacco, that could be environment, could be smoke or smog, like we're in LA right now. So there's a little bit of that going around. Not as much near the beach, which where we're at, but but that's great, Karina. You're spot on. Those are the three that most people know about, and then we forget about most people forget about that. And in our opinion, like we rely on heavily plant-based, plants for healing, medicinal, for plants to improve digestion. And I'm talking about vegetables too, not just herbs or tea. But that's a big one. And one of the things that I've noticed is that, like if we're counting calories, for example, the veggie part, the vegetables are a very small part of the calorie count. So you could have a bowl of like a cup of broccoli, for example, and it's like 12 calories. Right? So most people don't count that. When I was counting calories for a different reason. I count calories to gain weight and gain muscle mass, different from our audience, which is women. So when I look at vegetables, you have to eat a lot of vegetables to make that calorie count increase. But the good news is it's the opposite for a lot of women or for people that are trying to drop inches, right? Because you could eat a lot of vegetables and that calorie count from vegetables will hardly move at all. And I feel like I've been talking a lot about calories. I don't recommend counting calories. And this is only one of our programs. Like we have different programs in particular that we've seen results with. And the MAP program in particular, we count calories for our customers. But I don't. So we do that in the weight loss phase. I don't feel like that's sustainable. I don't think that's something like we wouldn't do that for someone long-term, and we wouldn't recommend someone doing that for themselves because it's a ton of work. Like Dorothy spends hours calculating calories for individuals. Like it's a ton of work. So someone was like, are you going to teach us how to do this ourselves? And I'm like, we could. We're not at that stage yet. We have different phases of our program. So we're actually building out a mentor phase of our program because we've noticed that the people in our program that have seen amazing results, they're starting to coach people in their life. It could be their daughter, it could be their sister, it could be their aunt that wants help. Because we all know people, and it's such an interesting experience because we all know people that need help, right? And first of all, I should mention, you can't really help someone unless they want help. Like they have to come to you and ask for help. Sometimes people say, I know this person in my life, whoever it is, a loving family member, and they really need your help or they really need this. I've seen results in me and they could get it. And I said, well, did they ask you? And they're like, no. And I said, well, are they ready for change? And they're like, no, probably not. So you can't make someone change. And that's the same thing with our program. Like I put out a video about how I really dislike high pressured sales calls. I dislike them being the person on the call trying to pressure someone into, not that we've ever done that, but trying to talk someone into joining a program. And then I dislike someone trying to sell me. So why would we do that on the phone call? Because, and I mention this because sometimes we have our application questions. We have our form of application questions. And then from there, we jump on a phone call. And that phone call is not, and people don't want to, I don't want to do the phone call because they're worried we're going to try to talk them into something. But that's not who we are. We help you make a decision. We go through our program, we answer questions, and then we decide, is this the best program for you? And if that person's like, no, then like, okay. Because if I try to talk someone into our program and they're not 100% invested financially, emotionally, all in, then they're not going to see the results they're looking for. Then they're not going to be happy with us. And it's no fun at all working with someone that's not happy, grateful, positive, upbeat, and enjoys your services. Like if there's some resentment there, both of you are going to drag your heels through it. So we work with people that we want to work with and that really want to work with us, and that's it. So I think that's an important aspect. But when I was talking about our program, is that what I was saying is that people that were seeing big results in their life, they want to help everyone because they're feeling so amazing. So they're like, what can I do? Can I teach this? Can I start to learn what you guys do? So we're starting to build out a mentorship program on the back end. So our clients that do an amazing job that want to help others, they can actually learn how to coach and teach the way we do. So I think that's exciting. And that's not for everyone. That's probably for a small percentage of people, but I feel like it's a pretty cool aspect. Like we have our weight loss program, our phase of the program where we count calories. Then we have the maintenance phase where we show you how to keep those results forever. And then you're on a different calorie count. You're on a different you're on different recipes, different meal plan, different workouts. And then from there we go to the mentorship part of the program, because I feel like a lot of programs hit the ceiling really quickly. Like you could look at whatever it is, Jenny Craig, or a lot of people do that ideal protein. And I feel like they hit the ceiling and they're like, they don't know where to go. They're not seeing the results. Where do they go? Because there's not a second phase. Or what happens if you hit your ideal goal weight? And then what? You leave you possibly leave the program, or you find something else and you gain that back because no one's taught you how to keep that. And on top of that, no one has encouraged you to influence others. The best way for you to learn something is to teach someone else. So you could be okay at something, but once you start teaching other people, you become an expert. And the more you teach people, the better you become, right? So I feel like that's a pretty cool part of what we're doing, building out our program. But so at any rate, what I was saying with the being selfish and putting yourself first is that you have more to give. So when I was talking about myself, I feel like I have more to give. That's my family there. And I meditate every morning, and I ask for patience for my family, and that I can be a better individual. And I feel like those moments I take for myself selfishly offers me more of an ability to give to them. And like I said, that's the same across the board. If that's not just family members, it could be some of our employees that we have working with us. It could be our customers. Like we have challenging customers, not going to lie. So I want to be as patient as possible and understanding, and have the ability to put myself in their shoes. And that meditation, or at least that quiet time in the day, helps me with that. When I'm working out in the morning, I feel more inspired, more energetic. I feel like a better person. And here's the thing is that we always talk about our experiences because that's how we understand other people. But if you never do anything for yourself, which is what we see very often, is that we see you have less of the ability to give. Like a lot of times we have of offering more, like you're selfish in a sense, and that word has become a negative word. I use it as a positive word. So you're selfish in a sense, so you can be more unselfish. So if let's say you take 30 minutes out of your day for a workout, that makes you a better person. It could make you a better mother, a better wife. It could make you a better employee or a better owner. You take 30 minutes out of your day, that makes you a better person for the rest of your day. Think about that for a moment. You're selfish for 30 minutes, and the rest of your day you're giving. And I feel like we have so much more to offer if we take that selfishness for ourselves, take that time for ourselves, and then everything you've gained in that moment, you're able to offer the rest of the world. And I know, like we say, oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to pray or meditation, whatever it is. But you could look at the busiest people in the world, right? And I guess I suppose that's irrelevant. Like the busiest people, you could talk about the most important people, or the people you could look at top CEOs who have thousands of customers, not just customers, employees, and then customers they have to work through or work with in one way or another. And a lot of these people, they take time. Like they understand that their health is very valuable. So they take time for their health. They take time for their mental health. They take time to, whether it's quiet time or prayer time or meditation, whatever that is. So for me, when I hear from someone and they say, oh, I don't have time for that, I have a really hard time with that. I have a really hard time with that because we all have time. Here's the thing is that we have time for the priorities that are in our life. And so, like I said before, like some people aren't ready for change. And when I have these conversations with people about our programs, they have to be ready for results. Like some people aren't ready for results. That's why we ask questions. I ask questions, see where they're at, see what place they're at. And when through those questions, we can gauge if they're ready now and how long it's going to take them, or roughly if they're in a short amount of time to get them to where we want them to be, or if they're way off. And if they're way off, we say, you know what, this program probably isn't the best fit for you right now, but we can give you some action steps that you can take in the future. And if you want to circle back around, we can talk about coming back to us. Because here's the thing, like we've been able to see incredible results within the first week or two alone. And we do that because we want people jumping in with 2 feet, 100% ready and motivated. And that's where I want to get you guys mentally. Like you don't have to be involved in our program or anyone else's program, but for you to understand, we do a lot of mental training because mental training is half of it. Mental training is at least 80% of it. Like anyone could go and work out once or twice. How can you get people to work out consistently? That's our job. Anyone could follow a meal plan for a couple of days, but we need to give you the tools to follow our meal plan for an extended amount of time so you're able to see the results that you need to get you to your ideal weight before we move you to the maintenance phase. And that's our job to keep you moving forward. Like for us, for example, we have a group run plan. It's a walk, run. We're going to dress up. We're going to have fun. That's one small way we're using to motivate our group because it's fun. And you don't have to participate or you don't have to join in, but that's just one tool that we're using to keep people involved and moving forward. We also have a little black dress event coming up on November 25th. That's open to everyone. And that's just another way that we're offering to help motivate our clients to stay on track, to give you something to look forward towards. So when you guys are working through this stuff on your own, I want to give you tips that you can do, whether you're with our program or whether you're thinking about it or whether you're in someone else's program. I don't care. Like this is just free stuff. We're trying to help people improve their life and improve their health. And I feel like at the end of the day, if we've helped people in some way or another, we've done our job. Our goals in life aren't based around finances. They're based around experiences. And if we can give, like we know how valuable experiences are for us. That's why we put them at the top of our list. And if we can offer other people a really nice experience, then I feel like we've done our job. We actually just sent out a free 7-day meal plan. So I put up a post. I said, who wants a 7-day meal plan? And there's over 100 people commented. So I started having conversations with people so it could be a bit more customized. And then I'm working through sending them out. And we do that stuff because it makes us feel good. We don't get anything in return. A lot of time, like a lot of people, I'd probably sent out 50 already. And half the people didn't even answer. Some people gave me a thumbs up. Other people said that. Some people were very grateful, which is nice. But I mean, if we did that for some type of reciprocation, then we probably wouldn't keep doing it because you don't really get much in return. It'd be nice if people said or showed gratitude and were like, "Thank you so much for this," or someone actually took a picture and sent it in. That makes us feel like our time is valuable. But that in particular, I'm sure some people are like, "Oh, they must have had that for years. They just spit it out." But that's not what happened. Like we have a template of meal planning that we work off of. And Nick, our assistant, was working on that. Dorothy was working on that. I was approving it. It took hours to do. And we were trying to get it all done before Friday so we could send it out so people could get their groceries on Saturday and then meal prep Sunday. And then a lot of people were like, oh, I'm gone this weekend. I'll get back to it, or I'll have a look when I get a chance. That usually means they're not going to look at it. So, but that's okay. That's okay. Like our goal is to help people improve their life in one way or another. And it makes us feel good doing that. So if people are going to use some material like that, it's a tough part about giving away free stuff is because a lot of times people don't value it. And that's why I say you have to be financially invested. And that's a perfect, like when we join our program, like we've seen success in our program because it's the step-by-step process. You make a clear decision. Yes, I'm going to do this, right? And then you make a financial investment. So you need to pay. And if you don't pay, then you're just floating around YouTube videos or Netflix videos and you're not really haven't made a clear decision. So you make a decision, and then you have a coach or mentor walking you through. So that's just the very beginning steps of the program. And that's the problem with free stuff, is often you send out free stuff, or a lot of our stuff. I feel like our free stuff is better than a lot of companies, most companies, paid stuff, to be honest with you. But we send out free stuff, and then we follow up when I say, hey, how did that go? And good majority, 85% plus of people don't use free stuff. Oh, I got busy and didn't look at that, because there's no emotion connected to it, right? And in most cases, it's the finances. Like, you're financially invested equals emotionally invested. And a lot of people are like, well, if I'm paying for that, I'm going to use it. But then you have some people that pay for stuff and don't use it at all, which is an odd concept to me. I'm going to wrap things up here. I think understanding that you have to put yourself first in one way or another. You need to understand that you do have time, and that creating that space in your life for personal growth will only improve other people in your life. Like, it'll improve other people's experience with whatever that is that looks like. Whether you're a parent, like I said, a parent, a spouse, a coworker, a boss, an employee, doesn't matter. You take that time for yourself, you'll improve everyone else's. Just to wrap things up, we have our Little Black Dress event coming up November 25th. I hope you'll all consider joining us, even if you're further away. Some people are like, oh, it's too far to go. It's probably not that far, depending on where you're at. But it's going to be it's going to be at the Pomeroy. We're going to have a dinner. We're going to have a dance. We're putting a lot of work into it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be based around inspiration. It's going to be a women's only event. Some of our MAP members are going to come up, and those that are interested, not everyone, of course, that some people, we want to celebrate those that have been doing amazing. We're offering all kinds of stuff. We got a $50 swag bag for the first people, that $50 value of our products alone. For the first 50 that sign up, you're going to get a nice dinner. We're going to do some presentations. We got a DJ booked. We're going to be dancing. I feel like we probably don't need a reason to get together and have a good time. I feel like we don't do it enough. And to be honest with you, as busy entrepreneurs, we don't take enough time for ourselves to relax and have a good time. And at least in our area in Olds, you have to go to Calgary, or you have to go to Red Deer, Edmonton. You have to leave the area to go find something, to find a nice dinner, or to hang out and have a dance. When's the only time you really do that is when you go to a wedding, right? And those don't seem to happen often enough, at least in my opinion. So if you have any questions with that, let us know. We have the prices on the website. There's a price reduction for 2 people, sign up for 2. And then there's a table of 8 you can sign up for. So at any rate, I can guarantee you value. And actually, we're going to guarantee. We do that with all our stuff. Like, if you show up and you don't have a good time, or wasn't it as exciting or as great as you thought it was going to be, we'll give you your money back. I'm 100% okay with that. If you don't show up, then I'm not going to give you your money. We're only taking 100 people, so it's not going to be a huge gathering, but we're hoping that we can get people signed up and ready to rock and committed and excited to make that happen. So thank you all. We'll catch up with you in one way or another. But remember, you got to put yourself first. So then that'll give you the ability to put everyone else first, right? Right. Have a great day, everyone.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/Drew Taddia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Taddia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Taddia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.